What if I told you that the largest criminal empire on the internet, a fortress of encryption, dark web servers, and Bitcoin laundering, was destroyed by a Hotmail address? In 2017, Alexandre Cassez was a ghost. He was the mastermind behind Alphabay, a black market economy processing hundreds of thousands of dollars a day in illegal transactions. He had millions in the bank, a Lamborghini in the driveway, and a life of luxury in Bangkok. He believed he was untouchable because he understood the technology of anonymity better than anyone else. But he didn't understand himself. This is the story of Operation Bayonet. It's a masterclass in how law enforcement didn't just break the code, they broke the man. We're going to look at how a single moment of teenage carelessness, years before the crime began, became a ticking time bomb that would eventually cost a man his freedom, his fortune, and his life. Part 1. The perfect marketplace. To understand the magnitude of this mistake, you have to understand the scale of what K's is built. After the original Silk Road was shut down in 2013, a vacuum opened up in the digital underworld. Dozens of competitors rushed in, but they were messy. They scammed their users, they got hacked, or they got caught. Enter Alphabay, launched in 2014 by a user known as Alpha02. It was different. It was professional. It was the Amazon of the dark web. It had a sleek user interface, dispute resolution centers, and a level of reliability the criminal world had never seen. By 2017, Alphabay wasn't just a market, it was an economy. It hosted over 300,000 listings: drugs, stolen data, malware, weapons. It was processing $500,000 in sales every single day. Casey's, the man behind the screen, was taking a cut of every transaction. He was generating a fortune in cryptocurrency that would be worth tens of millions of dollars. He was so successful and felt so secure that he eventually stepped back. He changed his handle from Alpha02 to simply admin and hired a manager named DeSnake to run the day-to-day operations. He believed he had successfully laundered his identity. He thought the layers of Tor servers and encryption made him invisible. But anonymity isn't a wall you build once. It's a performance you have to keep up forever. And Alexandre Cassez had messed up his lines years ago. Part 2. The fatal flaw. For years, the FBI and DEA were hitting brick walls. They were buying drugs, analyzing packages, and chasing digital shadows. They couldn't find the servers, and they couldn't find the man. Then in December 2016, they caught a break. It wasn't a sophisticated hack. It was a tip about an email. In the very early days of Alphabay, back in 2014, the platform sent out automated welcome emails to new users. For a brief window of time, the server was misconfigured. If you looked at the metadata of those welcome emails, you could see the sender's personal address. It read, pimp_alex_91@hotmail.com. That was it. That was the crack in the dam. Alex for the name. 91 likely for the birth year, 1991. Investigators took that email and ran it through the open internet. They didn't need a warrant. They just needed Google. They found a French-language tech forum from 2008 where a user had posted about removing a virus from a photo. The user's name? Alexandre Cassez. The email at the bottom? pimp_alex_91. The dominoes fell instantly. They found a LinkedIn profile for an Alexandre Cassez, a freelance software designer from Quebec, Canada. They found his PayPal account linked to the same email. They found his wife's Facebook profile, which was wide open and tagged constantly in Bangkok, Thailand. In a matter of days, the ghost of the dark web had a face, a name, and a location. They tracked him to 3 properties in Bangkok. They watched him drive his Porsche and his Lamborghini. They saw him living the life of a wealthy expat, completely unaware that his digital past had just caught up with his physical present. Part 3. The trap. Now, usually this is where the police kick down the door. But the FBI and international authorities wanted more. They didn't just want cases. They wanted to burn the entire ecosystem down. This gave birth to Operation Bayonet, one of the most clever law enforcement strategies in history. While the Americans were watching Kazis in Bangkok, the Dutch police had located the servers of a rival marketplace called Hansa. Instead of shutting Hansa down, the Dutch police took it over. They arrested the administrators quietly, kept the site running, and pretended to be the admins. The plan was a pincer movement. Step 1, the FBI would take down Alphabay. Step 2, panic would ensue. Alphabay's thousands of refugees, buyers and sellers, would desperately look for a new home. Step 3, they would flock to Hansa, the second largest market. But they didn't know that Hansa was now a honeypot. It was a trap designed to maximize chaos. By shutting down the big dog, they would herd the sheep directly into the slaughterhouse. It was psychological warfare on a global scale. Part 4, the crash. On July 5, 2017, the trap was sprung. But there was one final problem: encryption. If agents stormed Kaz's house and he managed to lock his computer, the evidence would be encrypted forever. They needed to catch him with his laptop open and logged in. The Royal Thai Police staged a piece of theater. A plainclothes officer drove a car down the dead-end street of Kaz's private villa and rammed it right into his front gate. Crash. Kaz's, startled by the noise, ran out of the house to see what happened. He was wearing casual clothes, holding his phone, and crucially, he left his laptop open in the bedroom. As he approached the gate to inspect the damage, the driver and a swarm of hiding officers tackled him. They sprinted into the house. The laptop was there. It was awake, and it was logged into the Alphabay administrative terminal as admin. It was the smoking gun. They had open sessions, server passwords, and unencrypted keys. They seized everything: the servers, the $23 million in assets, the cars, the houses. 7 days later, Alexandre Caceres was found dead in his Thai prison cell. He had taken his own life. The king was dead, and his empire was in ruins. The cycle continues. Operation Bayonet was a tactical masterpiece. Following the Alphabay shutdown, users did exactly what the FBI predicted. They fled to Hansa. For weeks, Dutch police logged their IPs, their messages, and their Bitcoin addresses. Then they shut Hansa down too. It was a devastating double tap to the dark web community. But did it stop the trade? No. The dark web is hydra-headed. When Alphabay fell, others rose. In fact, in 2021, an administrator using the old name Snake re-emerged to launch a new version of Alphabay, claiming to have fixed the operational security flaws that killed Kaz's. The technology gets better, the encryption gets stronger, but the lesson of Alexandre Kaz's remains. You can have the most advanced security in the world, you can route your traffic through a dozen countries, and you can amass a fortune in untraceable currency. But you are still human. You have an ego. You have a past. And somewhere, buried in a database from 10 years ago, there might be a single, sloppy mistake waiting to destroy you. In the digital world, you have to be lucky every single day. The investigators only have to be lucky once.